Hello, hello, hello out there in the world. It is the Melanated Air Hour. For the next hour, we are going to be broadcasting to you, talking about things that are happening in the melanin community. I don't do this by myself. I am LaNee Javet. I do this with anywhere from 2, 3 to 4 other beautiful Black women. Today we have two beautiful co-hosts, Keisha Ravenell at We Inspire Brand. Hey, Keisha.
Hey!
Keisha is here in Arizona right now. She leaves back to New York later tonight. I didn't get a chance to see her, but I'm going to see her when she comes back next
Yes,
month.
we definitely will connect
Some
when I
FaceTime.
come back.
And then Teddy is in Egypt. What's up, Teddy? At the real
What's
Teddy.
up, everybody? What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up? So first of all, thank you. I see you guys are starting to come into the room. Please give a what's up, a hello, a hi, a how y'all doing? B1, something. Let us know you're in the building. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Hey, Charisma. Hey, Jean. Hey, Antonio. Hey, Gerard. Erica. Country Boy 77. Today we're having a conversation where we're kind of continuing our strong Black woman conversation, but in a different direction. There is a post that we saw. Two things are happening in this realm, right? So there is this post on Dear Damona that says, is it racist if I don't want to date outside my own race? So you have that question, but then you have this thing happening on Twitter with Fresh and Fit podcast hosts talking about they specifically do not date Black women. Specifically, no way, no how, ain't gonna do it. No ma'am, no sir. So we want to talk about that today. Do Black men hate Black women? I mean, we know the answer to this, but we want to have this conversation, right? We want to have it out loud because it's happening in the barbershops. It's happening at the beauty shops. You're talking about this with your homegirls and your homeboys. Dating is crazy. So we know you're having this conversation. So we want to have it here with you so that we can help each other better understand what's going on in this situation. So I actually did not see the first video with the Fresh and Fit podcast, and I believe Teddy and Keisha did. So can you guys break down what was happening in that video, what was being said, and then we could dig into it a little bit deeper.
So I just saw a clip. I just saw a clip of it. I didn't see the entire podcast, but the clip that I saw, it was two men of the Fresh and Fit podcast stating that they don't date Black women, and they were just like degrading Black women, and they stated, I don't want to date a Shaniqua or whatever the name that they use, like a stereotypical name. So yeah, that's pretty much like the clip that I saw. I know, Teddy, you have more insight, like you went more into detail about it.
I mean, just they were using, like you said, derogatory terms. They said, something about the night riders. I don't go with the night rider. Just all of these unnecessary terms. So not only were they stating their dating preference outside of their own race, they had to take it 2 steps further by talking shit about Black women, using racial epithets, calling them, I want to say not ghetto names, but ethnically cultural names, and just really taking it there. So they really were, you know how you have to pick a side. They picked their side and they stood 10 toes on the ground on it. And I do believe that the podcast was older. I don't think it was a recent podcast. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But I hope they paid for it. I hope we punish them severely for that statement.
Yep. Deidre Jade in the comments, she said the self-hate is real, girl. I just said that in the background.
Just said that before we went live. It's so true. It is so true.
The self-hate is real.
I'm trying to cue the commentary in the background. I have it on my screen. I have it up, but y'all know I just got this new computer, and I haven't given Chrome permission to record my screen. So sorry, I can't share it.
Let me try to pull it out while you talk.
I don't even know if we need to hear it. Like, do we need to hear Black women be degraded in order to know that it's happening? I don't necessarily know that we need to do it. Somebody said, oh my God, Fresh and Fit. Okay, so let's see. Fresh and Fit do not love themselves. So that's the reason they cannot find love in the Black woman. Amen. Okay, so you bring up a great point. You bring up a great point. Do you think that is it self-hate when somebody says that they do not date outside of their race, or that they only date outside of the race? Like we hear that, right? They must not like themselves. They must not like their mother. They must not like who they are if they only date outside the race. And if they only date outside the race, is that the consensus in this conversation?
I think it's self-hate when you go out of your way to degrade Black women. So if you only date Hispanic women because that's all you grew up around, or you only date white women because that's the environment that you grew up around, but you don't go out of your way to degrade Black women, that's a totally different conversation than saying Black women are ghetto, Black women have attitudes, and that's why I don't date them. And, you know, all of these degrading terms, like, you don't do that. So I think it's self-hate when that's done. Like I said, it's a very different conversation if you didn't grow up in that environment where you were surrounded by Black women. I personally believe in Black love, and I feel like Black people should be with Black people, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
So I saw this comment, and I think it's basically what you just said, which was that you can date, somebody said you can date who you want, but you don't have to degrade, right? So it's one thing to say, I have a preference, right? Everybody has a preference. I have a preference. I like a tall Black man with a beautiful smile, perfectly 6'2" and tall. Like, I got a preference for who I date. And I only date Black men, right? So that's my preference. So I think you can have a preference, but you don't have to shit on other people, especially the people that look like you. Like, if your preference, because we're not just talking about Black right now, the conversation based on the clip is Black men, but we're just talking about interracial dating in general, right? Whether it's a Black man and a white woman, or a Black woman and a white man, because you have some Black women that may or may not say, I don't date Black men. So it's not a Black man thing. It's not a Black man thing that just says I only want to date white women. You have some Black women who also say, yeah, I ain't really messing with brothers either. And I'm not going to give reasons as to why either say they don't for the other case's point, because these individuals have, I guess, their own reasonings. But it goes back to, but do you have to shit on or degrade or talk negatively about the race that you no longer deal with?
Right.
And the answer, you know, and then you have to ask about, you have to think about people who've had negative experiences with someone, and maybe that someone caused them to have a trauma response, and they can't fool with the person that resembles that person. So I feel like if a tall, light-skinned man attacked me one day, maybe I wouldn't fool with someone that looks like my husband, you know, a tall, you know, light-skinned brother. I just wouldn't. Every time I see it, it would trigger something, right? So I can see saying, nah, without putting my business in the street, nah, I don't date light-skinned dudes, right? And not explaining why. But to cancel out a whole race, your own race, not just a whole race, because you can cancel out a whole race, but your own race, what your parents look like, what your siblings may look like, that is that's a psychological issue, I think, because there must be something going on at home and something that went on when you grew up, and there are a lot of self issues going on that would cause you to feel that way, and to put yourself out of cultural comfort. Now, maybe you grew up in a home where there's only one other race that wasn't Black people, right? But you still have that yearning inside because it's instinct to be around your cultural people. I believe that 100%. And it's been proven, so it's not just my word. So I think those dudes, they probably, just like we did with this title, they really wanted to clickbait it. They wanted to take it far, and I just believe they chose the wrong topic. And I don't know if they really believe that or not. I don't know if they defended themselves or not, but it's a shame. It's a shame. I hope they get help.
Yeah, you know. So we're gonna have, you know, I'm trying to decide where does this conversation go? What are we talking about, right? So I'm a firm believer, don't knock anything without trying it. I really am. And that sentiment has gotten me into a lot of trouble in different situations where I had to try some stuff just based on, you know, don't knock it till you try it. And so I tell the truth. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. We kind of alluded to this conversation last week when we were talking about Black women that have to be strong. And here in Phoenix, one of my girlfriends was like, you know, your mate could be on the other side. And I was like, I'm pretty sure God does not play those kind of games. He knows my heart. He knows what I want. And my girlfriend was like, come on, just do it. She was like, you always say don't knock it till you try. And I was like, fuck it. And part of my language, I just dropped the F-bomb. I was like, fine. Fine. So she hooked me up with this white boy, and we go to dinner, and I felt so uncomfortable all night. Like the whole time. It didn't go past dinner. Like I felt like everybody was looking at us. When the waitress came over, and she wasn't even black. When the waitress came over to service, I was like, well, we're just friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to everybody know this is not a date. Like this is not a date here. You know what I'm saying? It was so uncomfortable for me. I'm only giving my story for me. And it solidified the fact that I'm like, I can't do it. I cannot. I will not. No shade or disrespect for anybody who does. I say that to say this. I do live in Arizona. I grew up in California until I was about 16. Both of my younger sisters grew up here. Now, they don't only date white boys. They both prefer Black men and have dated Black men. But here in Arizona, we live in the capital of Black men and white women. The capital. I mean, where brothers will knock you out the way, reach past you to get to the other persuasion, right? Then that's just, that's just this environment here in Phoenix. It is the armpit of interracial dating. Like it's so crazy.
I love that.
Man, Keisha's here visiting. She can tell you, right?
I saw it.
So in those situations, sometimes I and people ask me this all the time, how do you only date Black men, and how do you have this perspective or feeling towards Black people, and you have people in your family that date interracially? From that perspective, I think it's your personal choice. Like I can't hate on somebody else for what they do. I can only make the choices for me and myself and my life and my house, which is be one, Black first. You know what I'm saying? I only date Black men. But I don't demean or talk bad about other people who do. And I used to. I had to have a come to Jesus moment, because I used to call it settling. I'm like, if you don't date Black men, then you're settling for something else. And I used to be very aggressive about it, until the point where it was disrespectful and rude to my sisters and the men that they dated. And so I had to start being like, okay, this is how I live my life, and this is what I prefer, but I can't tell somebody else what they should prefer and how they should live.
Definitely. Y'all know I'm in the military, and I'm in multicultural environments all the time. I have coworkers, and we're close, right? So the reason I say that is because the military is not like civilian world. Like we grow close relationships with the people we work with, people we go to war with, people we deploy with, very close. We eat together, we party together, we hang out together. We help each other. That's the culture. And this is a multicultural environment completely. So I have been going out with work, coworkers, a bunch of white dudes, Asian people, Hispanic people, Native Americans, all kinds of races. And we're always together. Maybe it's one or two of us, maybe it's 3, 5, 10 Black people, all of us together. So I don't have that like you experience with that tension of, are they going to think we're together, because we're always together, and it doesn't matter, right? What our relationship is. And that has caused me to, when I grew up until my teens, like late teens, I would never have dated outside my race. But then I joined the military, and it just kind of switched it a little bit. So I tried to go out and date once, and it just doesn't work because of the cultural differences. Honestly, like people who aren't me and didn't grow up like me just don't get it. And I don't like a joke being made, an old song, an old Luther song. I was gonna bring up Luther, he's my favorite. A Luther song being played, and you can't sing it with me. Like I just don't. And then my coworkers will be talking about hair bands. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna pretend I know what you're talking about. Don't even talk about it to me, because I don't care about whoever those hair bands. I don't even know what that is. I don't want to know. That's your world. I have my world. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've been there, done it, experienced it, tried it on multiple levels, just in my environment. And it just isn't for me. It isn't for me. It don't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. It doesn't make me feel real. So although I'm not judging other people for what they do, it ain't for me. And like you said, LaNee, I ain't judging you, but I have my personal preference.
I'm gonna let you get in. I know you want some of this. Bob Hope. It says, are all the sisters in the panel dating outside the race? None.
No.
Not a one.
No,
He one over here.
I was given an example of something that happened earlier in my life when I was tested and tried. It was like, oh, fine, let me just see. And the nectar was not sweet at all. Not so no, we only date the brothers around here.
Around these parts, okay?
Sometimes my girls be like, "That's why you single." No, ma'am, it's not. It's just I haven't crossed paths with the right king. I'm good. I will wait this thing out to have a black man.
And it goes back to your value system as well. All of us on the panel, we value Black people. We are B1 and we want to build a legacy. I can't see myself, and that's why I don't agree with interracial dating, because I feel that it goes back to the values, right? But if your value is B1, leaving a legacy, and you die, all of that money goes to the other person's race. It doesn't go back into your community. If you're building, right? If you have life insurance, if you have a 401k, it goes to the other community. So I'm not going to date outside my race knowing that I'm building for the next generation, and then they go spending money with their people. Like, no,
their family. Yeah,
exactly, their family, because that's what's important to them. So I agree with you, Teddy. I was gonna say the same thing about the culture. Like, you don't get me. Like you said, like, you can't sing Luther songs with me. Like, you can't sing New Edition with, like, no, absolutely not. And just to mention culture again, I watched the show Married at First Sight, and they had like their very first interracial couple, and they didn't work out. It was a Black man and a white woman. And he just mentioned that she didn't get him, and then like she didn't like the food, and it's like, oh no, I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that.
Madam President. What's good, Queen? How are you?
I'm good. How about you all?
Good.
I'm waiting for you to go off, Madam President. Just
I'm reading like subject matter. It says, "Do Black men hate Black ?
Oh yeah. So we're talking. So clickbait titles. Do Black men hate Black women? Right. So that's the overarching title, but that's, we were digging deeper than that, right? So we want to ask the question, do Black men hate Black women? So we're talking about the post that you put up of the Fresh and Fit with the two brothers that were talking about they don't date Black women, right? So that's kind of a piece of the conversation. But then there was this other article. The flip side to that was this article on Dear Damona that says, is it racist if I don't want to date outside my race, right? Mm-hmm. So you have people who say, I only date Black men. I'm Black, only date Black men. I'm white, only date white. I'm a Mexican, I only date Mexican. Is that racist if you only date your race? But then you have the other side of that coin where you have people that says, I specifically don't date my race. Like I'm Black and I don't want to date Black women, or I'm a white girl and I only date brothers. Like you have people who are like adamant on, I do not date my race. I want to date other races. And you have people who are like, I only date my race. Is it good, bad, indifferent, right or wrong?
Yeah, I don't know how indifferent it is, but it has to be a little problematic if the people that it's in you, the people that look like you are you have a complete distaste for them. Like you don't have any kind of desire, any kind of interest in people who come from your environment. But like I always say that, once that self-hate is embedded in the brain, it don't matter where you go in the world and how old you get, you're going to start to subconsciously hate yourself. And you may not go around and say, oh, I want to jump off a bridge, but everything about you're going to be shifting and changing. And you're not going to want to date women that look like you. You're not going to want to date women that look like people from your neighborhood. You're going to constantly climb toward other environments. I've never heard and this is something that was so, I thought, interesting that I said too, is even when white men don't date white women, they are not caught publicly humiliating white women. They're not caught talking down about white women, they typically just they say their preference, or I fell in love with my wife and that's that. But they don't go around saying negative things about white women. But for some reason, I think those men, somebody made a comment and said those men are not African American. But we don't have time to figure out what part of the world you come from when we on these platforms. You Black. You talking Black, you speaking English. You're not speaking any other native tongue. You Black, okay? Until further notice. Nobody has time to be figuring out, well, where your grandma and them from? So anyways, those men, they basically were just like, oh, I don't like darkies. I don't like night riders. And the interesting is, I was like, what complexion do y'all think y'all children will be? Your daughters will be brown women. Because the brother who was heavily melanated, I was like, even if you were to plant a seed in a white woman, that child is gonna have some melanin. You know what I'm saying?
Curly hair might be thick, might be real kinky, might be 4C, baby. So, just like your head.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's like, everybody want to use the Black woman, and then it's crazy because it was a lot of Black women sitting around that in that table. When he said that, it should have been an uproar. But that's what my problem is. Sometimes I want y'all to know that the Black woman sometimes is sitting around men. They're making plates for men. They're laughing with men. They're saying okay to men who have this kind of mindset. And those men, you can't sit at the table.
Yeah.
You can't
you
get
have to leave the table. You have to leave the table immediately. The interview would have been like whatever it was. And I'm going to be forced to find the whole interview just to see it. But ain't no way I would have sat there and let you say that to me with my deeply melanated skin. And I'm going to sit there and look at you like I have to. Them days is over. Like I wouldn't do that at work. I wouldn't do it nowhere. I wouldn't do it if somebody was paying me at no point, no time. No point, no time.
Absolutely. But I think Black men naturally love Black women. Black men love Black women. But let me tell you something interesting. I don't know if you all saw this, but the Quincy Jones documentary. Quincy Jones, and this is important because we don't really talk about this aspect of Black men's relationship with their mother. A lot of times, if the relationship with the mother is ruined, then Black men have a hard time establishing a relationship with a woman. Same thing for us and men. We talked about this on Tuesday. If Black women don't have those positive father, paternal, spectrum in the relationship, then they have a hard time with that adjustment. But I will say this really quickly before I pass it along. But Quincy Jones said that his mother was mentally ill. He said that it was to the point where his mother he was scared of her. Now, how many Black women have you seen Quincy Jones with? All his women were white or are white, and kids' mothers are white. When I tell you that was an important part of his identity. So basically, he just was like, I was scared of my mother. Guess what? You was growing up in poverty. Your mama was America was beating the shit out of her. He said that he saw the police officers manhandle her. He said he grew up with his grandmother. They were so poor that they were eating rats. She would go cook rats. Now, mind you, when you come from that environment, you start to hate the women around you.
Yeah.
But this is why I believe Minister Farrakhan and Malcolm and a lot of Black leaders who try to inform Black men from a educational standpoint. Once you start educating yourself, once you start strengthening your brain, then you start to understand the environment and you don't hate that woman. You begin to love her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't want to have that conversation, Shakita Wade. I hear you, girl. Yeah.
There's trauma. There's always trauma that's the root of something that goes against what's deep inside. If you can't look at the people you were raised around and see beauty and love, so much so that you want to raise next generations that look nothing like that and will be culturally immune to that almost, then that's a personal problem always. And we all need back to therapy. Y'all got to take care of yourself. You got to get to the root of what's causing you to feel the way you feel. Because I just can't believe it's not, like you said, as dark skinned as that brother was. I can only imagine what his mother looks like, or his auntie look like, or his sister look like. And to fix your mouth and say it's just beyond me.
That's self-hate.
But let me tell you too, they get rewarded for having that stance. Oh, yeah. White folks do not penalize Black people for not liking Black people. But when you go online and you say, I don't like gay people, when you say, I don't like this kind of person, it's problematic. But as soon as you declare that you don't like Black women, there's nothing wrong with that. Right. America has no
women or Black men.
Or Black men.
Or Black men. The conversation is not one-sided. I'm Jesus, the comments are coming in so fast. I'm trying to.
And I can't even keep up.
They are. I read them, and I'm like, oh my God. So let me first say, so many great comments, so many great conversations that are happening over the comments. We're on 8 different platforms, so I cannot post every single comment. I'm trying to address them all. But we're on Fly Nubian Queen, we're on Your Black World, we're on Melanated Air, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. And so all of the comments are coming in, and I cannot address them all. Kathy Edwards, I do want to have your conversation, but the comments are coming in too quick and too fast. I can't hit them all. But so let's talk about the title first, right? It's kind of clickbait, but it's kind of not clickbait. Do Black men hate Black women? There are a lot of Black women, unfortunately, that are asking themselves this question. So while it may seem like it's clickbait to some, there are women who feel that Black men hate them. That's legit. We cannot pretend like that's not the truth. Now, for myself and the women that are on this broadcast, we know that that's not true. Right. I know that Black men do not hate Black women. They at least love their mother. If nobody else, they at least love their mother. And if you love your mother and she's a Black woman, you cannot hate Black women, right? You may have a preference, something may have happened to you, you may have to do something different, but you don't hate Black women. All right. So there's that. So it's a little bit clickbait, but not so much, because it is a legit question, and it is a feeling that the Black women are feeling right now. Okay. The other thing is it's not one direction. The brothers could also say, do Black women hate Black men? Because your face be turned up, you don't speak on the street, you look at me sideways. So it can go, it's reciprocal, right? But I would have to say the brothers need to also know Black women don't hate you either. Like, we do not hate each other. This propaganda is being spread and put out in front of us in society and social media and movies to make us feel and think and feel like we hate each other, so that there can be some confliction between us all the time. And that keeps playing out in the world and society, in the music, and how we engage and how we see each other and how we talk to each other. But we know that that's not true, which is why this conversation is so important, because you need to know and hear that Black men don't hate Black women. You need to know and hear that Black women don't hate Black men. And we need to have these conversations, and we need to say, I love you, and you need to hear it. We also need to play this out in our day-to-day lives. When you see a Black man coming your way, don't divert your eyes and not say anything. Say hi, speak up, say hello. The same way, if you see a Black woman coming your way, that you should say hi and speak up, protect her, have her back. Like, we need to show each other that we love each other. We need to show each other that we support each other. And it's bigger than relationships. This is in business too, because you have people that would be like, I don't rock with Black-owned businesses. I don't support. Yeah. It's not just Black men and Black women. It's Black-owned businesses. It's Black this, it's Black that. Like, we need to show up and support and say, I definitely love Apple, but I'm about to rock with this Black-owned business over here, right? I like the little tie spot, but I'm definitely going to make sure I go and spend some money at these Black-owned businesses. Like, it's not just a Black man, Black woman thing. It's a Black people thing. It's a Black community thing. Support your Black-owned businesses. Support your Black men. Support your Black women. If you see a child out in the streets, a little Black child, and they need somebody to stand up and support them and advocate for them, support them too. It's not just do you love Black men, Black women from a relationship standpoint? Is, do you love Black people?
Yeah. Do you love Black people? Absolutely. Yeah. And you said it, LaNee, about protecting each other. Black women have to protect Black men. Black men have to protect Black women. And one thing I saw growing up, I keep telling you I was in love with love. Love songs ruined me. Because by the time I was 14, I just wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be in love. So it was hard for me growing up. I just couldn't find a boy. Like I couldn't get a boyfriend. Like guys dogged me out. They dogged me out. Like not mean, I just couldn't get someone to be true, even at that young of an age. And I was a year ahead in school. So I was in high school and I was like 13, I think. So I was just young, wanting big, more adult things. And as you grow in this world, and especially now when things are more multicultural, workspaces, work environments, living environments, people have options. So someone like me in the late 90s and early 2000s who was getting dogged out by my brothers, dogged out by my brothers. If I have these white dudes at work that are all whispering in my ear and trying to take me out to lunch and buy me things and all this, as someone who's not strong in the Black community, who's not B1, who's just looking for love, these women and men, y'all got options. So if you're feeling dogged out by a race, right, or a certain environment, maybe you're going to leave that environment and try something else because it's not working. So if we don't protect each other, right? And you can just speak honestly, open communication, saying, you know what, we're not working out, I'm not feeling you, instead of dogging somebody out, then it will propel people to look at other options. Now, there's a lot more to that about building the Black family. If you grew up in a Black family, the importance of a Black family, maybe you're not going to look to seek outside of your race or outside of your culture for love and affection. But many people don't grow up like that. And many people may feel like they need to experience some other things to search for the love that they're looking for. They don't know they're not going to find it there, but they're going to look for it there anyway. So we do have to protect each other, all of us.
Absolutely. And I was just going to mention experience. So we mentioned this on Tuesday's show, where it depends on where you grow up as well. So LaNee mentioned in Arizona, you see a lot of interracial dating. So, people think, okay, that's okay. Like, that's what I should be going for. For those of you who do not know, New York is very segregated. So, like, I see a lot of Black men with Black women. So it was never even a question in my mind that I should date outside of my race. It's like, oh, my mom was married to a Black man. My aunties was married to a Black man. My grandmother was married to a Black man. I am going to marry a Black man. So I think it also is your environment and your experience.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like to highlight about environmental is I remember growing up and some of the women were not positive about young Black girls. And I feel like that is also a problem in our community that has to be corrected and redirected and reframed, because like I remember growing up, maybe I'll say about 7th, 8th grade, and I can kind of recall how some of our friends' mothers would treat, like if the girl had a brother or something like that, there was this kind of energy of like, y'all girls, y'all go that way, boys, y'all go that way. It was complete separation. Of course, it's like, oh, y'all girls don't be fast and all of that. But here's one of the realities. Women would be really hard on girls. Women would be like, oh, I would hear a mother talking to her son, or would be my cousin or somebody saying things like, oh, she's not cute. You can do better than that. Things like that. And it's kind of like, that's not healthy conversation. That's not healthy approach to, like trying to navigate a young man into a space of courting and dating. So I just basically, like you said, LaNee, I just want to keep highlighting how we are equally responsible, both men and women, cousins and aunts and uncles, for the state of Black love. It is not one person or the other. It is a group effort. And if it's failing, then we are failing as a group.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it starts with self-love.
Bob Hope asked, can you touch on the self-deprecation of Black feminine aesthetics? I need you to be specific. What specifically are you talking about? Black feminine aesthetics. I saw somebody else post black men don't like black women that wear makeup. I don't know if that's what he's talking about or not, but post something again so I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm trying to get to some. I want to answer some of these comments if I can.
While you're looking at the comments, I don't know.
I'm not sure how to take these women seeming obliviousness about the black man's experience and the never-ending defamation, slander, and disrespect from black women towards us for decades. I think we kind of talked about that. It's not okay, right? It's not okay for black men to defame black women. It's not okay for black women to defame black men. There has to be equal love. Like, in my opinion, anyways, I don't think love should flow one way. It shouldn't just be black men have our backs and support us and protect us. That's one directional love. Black women have to also support and stand up and protect and be there for black men as well.
There was a comment that said that, I can't find it now, but it said black men are with black women. He said social media and something else will have you thinking that's not that way, but that's not how it really is. And I think that goes back to Keisha's comment and LaNee's comment. I've spent a lot of time in Phoenix. I have a good family friend that lives there. So it depends on where you are and what your community looks like. Whether you see a lot of black men with black women. Keisha would say growing up that there are no interracial relationships. Like, that's not an issue. And without social media, you don't see worlds outside of where you live. But if you in Phoenix, that's all you grew up seeing was interracial relationships. So it's completely dependent upon where you are and what your experience is to say that. And what you formulate in your head when you're in those maturing ages is okay. You know, these kids now, I mean, there's a lot of gender neutrality. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And they're growing up in an age where that's okay. And we're like, what the heck? You don't want to be a boy or a girl. You want to be something in the middle. But that is what they're growing up. So they have even bigger things going on than we had growing up seeing. So it's different.
Jean says, this conversation sounds like a gender war. I'm out.
Well, he must have been
that the reason why we have these conversations is because these are difficult conversations to have. And specifically for you, Jean, this kind of sounds like a gender war. I'm out. Absolutely nothing about the conversation is a gender war. The conversation is to publicly say that black men don't hate black women. It's to publicly say that black women don't hate black men. The title is a question, and the broadcast is a discussion and an answer. So it's not a conversation on gender war. It's a conversation that says, please love your sisters better and more. Please love your brothers better and more. But we have to have these conversations. And if you get frustrated and upset and walk away, then you're not being able to grow and add to the conversation and have your voice be heard and add perspective. So we have to have these difficult talks. Go ahead. Maybe you're going to say something, Madam President?
No, I'm just kind of, I was just kind of in the comments. I'm sorry. I'm just with.
There's a lot of them. They're coming so fast. I'm trying to look at some.
They're like, my God, how many people are in the building?
We're on a lot of broadcasts.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. But it's one of the things that we have to always keep in mind is that, you know, we are not on our original course. You know, we're trying to like correct. It's kind of like when you have they say that a broken bone is better than a sprain, because a sprain, when something is broken, it's broken, it can completely heal. It can completely heal, but when it's sprained, it's not broken. So the healing process, sometimes it never gets completely healed because it's not really broken. So you're dealing with a bunch of sprained folk when you're talking about the Black community, because you're talking about a people who going through a world where they're constantly, you know, like you said, identity is one, social issues is another. Who am I, right? You're African. Then you got to say you're American. And then you like, well, I'm American and I'm not being treated fairly and right. And so there's a lot. We are a perplexed people. We don't come straight and narrow. But one thing about, I believe that when you get like God-centered, you become more straight and narrow. You become more of a, okay, that's my brother, that's my sister, I'm here, I want to come through this like I come from the Creator, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like so often, even in the woke community, you know, we still having like the small fight. And it's kind of bothersome because it's like we got so many big issues. We still talking about self-love. You get what I'm saying? Like we still talking about self-love. We still got folks being hung. We still got Black men and women being improperly sentenced in courtrooms. We still have Black men being incarcerated, unjust. And then we still having conversations on love. And then we like y'all do things like give Kanye West a pass. You know, the rich folks get all the passes.
All the passes.
All the passes. The rich get the pass. So you got the haves and the have-nots. But it's like you ready to go hard for the sister on the podcast, you know, give her the hardest time ever. But people still in line for the Yeezys and go get that latest album that he dropped when this is a person who has a level of consciousness and has chosen white women, has chosen white world, but constantly pulling and tugging on you and Harriet Tubman. You know, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know if other people go through these moments, but it's like, I like the sister said, Kanye West gets no pass for me. Okay.
It's like schizophrenia, because you'll hear someone that's woke-ish, and I hate using that word, I'm sorry, but like that's woke, that seems like they're very aware, but the way they live their life doesn't flow with that. And it's, you know, and our whole community is just schizophrenic. Like it's just not meshing well. So it's hard to tackle the big problems. And like you said, self-love. If I don't love myself, how can I protect you? Like if we're at war, and I always feel like there's a war, right? I can't trust you to have my back if you don't know who you are and you can't pick a side. Draw a line in the sand, pick a side. And if you're like hopscotching on the line, you can't come with me. If the zombie apocalypse pop off, you can't be in my camp because you'll be bitten and won't tell nobody. Or you'll be trying to let somebody in the back door and we're not doing that. So what you say and what you do has to mesh with who you are. Now, I am not saying mistakes, experiences, things that happen before have to carry into your future life. I think we all have done things, said things, we've grown, right? Growth is good. So your past ain't gonna be used against you, but who you are now in this moment has to jive with what you're saying if you expect me to listen.
Yes. And just to expand on that, I was going to say earlier that Black love does start with self-love. So if you are Black and you don't love yourself, whether you're dating outside your race or not, you're not going to love the person of the opposite sex. You're not going to probably love the person of the same sex. So it has to start with self-love. And I know, Teddy, you mentioned therapy, and we are big on mental health on this panel. So it needs to start with you loving yourself. There's no way you would disrespect the Black women or Black men of the community, like I said, whether you're dating outside of your race or not, if you truly loved yourself.
That's it. Absolutely. That's it. As I'm reading these comments, I'm looking at all these comments, and they're from all over the place, and there's all different perspectives. And the one thing, the thing that's in my spirit and my soul right now is we are so all over the place as a community. Like you have some people that get it. You have some people that are like, y'all don't get it. Then you have people, I mean, we as a community, we are we cannot get on the same page. We are so scattered as a community. We don't know what is happening or what's going on. And that's why we can't get anywhere. We can't get anything accomplished, can't get anything done, because everybody has a different thought process, a different ideology, a different perspective on what is right and what is wrong. And I'm not just saying that's our community, because that's what we call opinions, right? So everybody has their own opinion, and which is not to say that we can't have different opinions, but we have to agree on something. Like who's on first? Who's going to drive? Who's going to take the lead?
Yes.
Which way are we going? How are we going to get there? Can we agree on one of these facts, right? You have some people that say Black men do hate Black women. You have Black men that say, I don't hate Black women. Yes, you do. Well, he just said he did it. Like, we do. Or Black women will, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have got to find something, some neutral ground that we can relate to and agree on, so that we can get somewhere at some point, at some time, at least in one area, like one area of our community. Can we agree on something?
You know, a conversation for another day is there really a Black community? I want to have that conversation because I think about that question. It like, does our it's all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? If that is true, is there really a Black community?
Right.
Or is there an entry fee to the Black community, and your skin ain't the entry? It ain't the ticket to get you in. We'll do that another day, though. I would love to have that conversation.
I like that too, Teddy, because I agree.
Yeah.
It's deep. I'm sorry, I had to write that down. I was like, that's a great topic.
We got to keep track, y'all, because it'll be Tuesday. Like, what are we talking about today?
Right. You know, in other communities, they can tell their children and they can tell their people, I don't want you dating Black men or Black women. But when we say it, it's like, oh, you're racist, or, you know, what's the matter with dating interracially? And this is all part of the system, right? This is all part of the system to keep us divided. So, and that goes back to what Madam President said earlier about the disrespect, and what I said earlier about the self-love. If you have a white man or an Asian man or a Hispanic man dating a Black woman, there's no way in hell he's disrespecting his Hispanic woman or white woman or Asian woman. So like you said, LaNee, we have to get on the same page. We have to practice and, you know, get into self-love so that we can love our people.
Tariq Nasheed calls it get on code, right? And I'm sure he's not the only one. But what you mentioned about those families where they do not date outside of their race. It's spoken, it's unspoken, it's written, it's unwritten. It is a rule. And that is because they are on code. And they know that if they commit this act, there are going to be some serious consequences and repercussions. And that is their cultural stance. But and I think we probably used to be that way. But time, a lot of white supremacy structures, a lot of things have changed that to make us think of that whole inclusion thing. And we can all get along, we can all be, and gave us that false insecurity that helped to propel some of those walls coming down in that aspect.
So G. Warren says, the title is disrespectful to Black men. I'm going to say this one more time, just because I know some people are just tuning in. It's a question. It is a question. It's not disrespectful. It's a question, because the question has to be asked. Black women feel this way. So we have to have the conversation. It has to be asked. Do Black men hate Black women? It's a question. How is that disrespectful? If the answer is no, Black men do not hate Black women, then the question is answered. This is a conversation. If Faye was here, she would say we have to stop being so emotional. She was like, it's a question. We did not say Black men hate Black women. We didn't make a statement. It is not a statement that says Black men hate Black women. That would be rude, demeaning, disrespectful, and completely go against the conversation that we're having. It is a question. It is asking, do Black men hate Black women? And the answer is no, they do not. But Black women need to hear that. Black women need to know that. I could have asked, we could have asked the question in reverse. Do Black women hate Black men? We could have asked that question too. And again, it's a question, not a statement. And that answer would be no. Black women do not hate Black men. We love you. You love us. We love each other. So it's a question. Okay.
I love it.
All right. On that note, we've reached our hour. We have reached our hour for today. This is the Melanated Air talk show. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday, where we talk about something from the Black perspective. It could be business, it could be life. Normally, it's going to be some type of life that's happening from a business perspective. All of us are entrepreneurs, business owners, but we want to talk about things that are happening in the Black community. We want to talk about it from our perspectives. And so we definitely thank you for tuning in. We love hearing from you. We want your perspective. We love the dialogue. We love the engagement. We love the conversation. And it gives us an opportunity to hear each other. we are not a monolithic community. I think we've proved that today. We don't think the same. We don't agree on a lot of things. But the majority of us on this broadcast can at least agree that we're B1, right? We put Black first, at least on this broadcast. Maybe not as a whole total community, but at least on this broadcast, we are B1. We put Black people first. And so we want to have conversations and open dialogue about what does that look like. And that's where we probably may need to get in more agreement, because we're all over the place. What does it look like? Right. So with that being said, today's conversation was specific to talk about Black love. The title was a little bit, risque, a little bit clickbait. But the question needed to be answered. Do Black men hate Black women? No. Do Black women hate Black men? No. Do we love each other? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Remarks from the panel. We'll start with you, Keisha.
Oh, listen, I said it before, I'll say it again. Black men, I love you, and I know that you love us Black women. When it comes to interracial dating, I have very strong views about that. I don't feel that the Black community, if the Black community exists, Teddy, that we are in any state or position to be going outside of our race. And, even we talked about Black business, spending money with other races, or leaving money to other races. We need each other. So like I said earlier, Black love starts with self-love.
Absolutely. Yep. I'll take the next one. I think that, I know my Black husband loves me. I know my Black father loves me. So yes, Black men love their Black women. Maybe not all, but most, right? And we have big problems. We have huge problems as a Black community, if it exists. And we cannot be stuck at the fence wondering who's with who and if you can pick a side, right? Because until we conquer the Black family and self-love, we cannot solve our problems as a community collectively. It would be damn near impossible. So start with Black family. And even that means you got to go back and reassess what happened to you as a child by going through some therapy. Then do that. Start with your Black family and then move forward to see if you can have a Black family and grow them up and build and protect and grow your household. Then we can tackle the Black community.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. And in the words of Angie Stone, Black brother, I love you. There's no one other. We'll always be there for you, And I want Caleb to know that do not address women as heavy set and other features Caleb Black and other features that you believe that these people identify with. You call Black women by their name. And if you don't know their name, you call them by sister, ma'am, or whatever works for you. But this is what's necessary to stop degrading Black women. It starts with not just your mindset, but it starts with your tongue. In order for us to start seeing life and light in one another, then we have to start speaking life and light in one another. These rappers, I know they like to use the B word and the H word and all of that to describe Black women, but then you see why they can't have healthy love ships. It starts with the tongue. So that's just number one. And Caleb, I better not see you at the All Black National Convention, because I will we'll have a real conversation there.
I don't think men like that are attending the All Black National Convention.
No,
exactly. I just want to say that Black people, you are everything. And this space that we navigate through in this world, it's not easy, but it's always easier together. All the infiltration that we had from all communities. When somebody talked about the civil rights movement, every movement with Black people had a person who was willing to sell them out for money. It ain't never been a movement that was willing to be corrupted for money. So I want to like to say is the Blackness, Black empowerment, and Black wealth is righteousness. That's just number one. So y'all just keep doing what's right. Of course, always, I feel like the Most High is always my best guide. And I feel like that's how you connect and love.
Somebody was asking for your YouTube page, Madam President.
It's Madam President with a Z. It's the same as my name, Madam President. It's Madam President with a Z instead of an S.
Awesome. Woo! Well, today has been a day. We have
Another day.
Right.
Today has been a day. It has been a great conversation. As always, I appreciate you ladies co-hosting Melanated Air with me, with us. You guys can catch us every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. We do this live every week. And the conversations, they vary. They're always going to be melanated. The thread will be, you know, something that has to do with melanin people, but it could be business, it could be life, it could be relationship, it could be love. We talk about all different kinds of things as long as it has to, you know, a Black undertone. We'll have the discussion. So we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Please go and like and follow and see each individual woman on their platform. You can follow Keisha at We Inspire Brand. Keisha is a full-time entrepreneur. She has her own t-shirt company, and she teaches other Black entrepreneurs how to start their t-shirt business. Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks. Teddy is in Egypt. She is will be retiring this year, and she's an exit strategist and a cryptocurrency teacher, facilitator, educator. So she stays busy, married 13 years to a Black man. For those of you who are asking in the comments. At Madam President is the bomb diggity. At Madam President with the Z. She has her own t-shirt company as well called The Freedom Company. She is a poet. She is in entertainment, and she is amazing. Love to have her here. I am LaNee Javet. You see my handle right there at I am LaNee Javet. I am a business coach and strategist specifically for Black entrepreneurs and Black people looking to help us upscale in our businesses, our business acumen, our business knowledge, and our business life. So you can catch us every Tuesday and Thursday here. You can also follow us at the Melanated Air Talk Show on YouTube. We love you as always. Continue to be blessed, stay Black, and be one. We'll see you guys.
Be one, baby.
One.
Bye.
Bye.